11, and it is Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and we've started tonight with what can be perceived as an upset because Luke Humphries out by 6-3, so the world number one gets an early bath in the Netherlands. So he won't be back tonight, but Chris Dobey will be, averaging 100.49 for the match with 6 180s as well, with Humphries not getting any. A lot was made, Scott, about averages, percentages for doubles, likelihoods coming into this match, but the fact remains that that's the best performance we've seen from Chris Dobey in the Premier League this season statistically, so that can't be refuted. That is the second worst performance of the season for Humphries in the Premier League. A couple of weeks ago when he played Stephen Bunting, he had a little bit less than the average, around about the 88 mark. Here it's about a 90, but it's his third worst ever in his Premier League career of a couple of years. So Chris Dobey just played better than Luke did on the night, and with the way the world is, there are going to be question marks over Luke Humphries because towards the end he looked like a dejected man.
Dancer and I touched on it. It was all about that second leg. He absolutely gave a second leg away with 9 darts there. He was missing darts at big numbers. He was missing darts all over the place, and Dobey came down with a 180 to leave 21 as a token gesture. Got to go at it. Got his head up, got some steam going, and away he went. He was amazing after that moment, and Luke then you could see that he hadn't forgotten that moment. He knew that he let him in. He gets 2-0 there. Dobey's gone.
It's going to be 9 points now for Chris Dobey. So if he has a great night in Rotterdam and has a pretty good time of it next week, there's no reason why he can't be back in the fold based on people above him starting to slow down a little bit.
We know in Premier League history, you and I have watched this for a few years now, and we know somebody always makes a late charge. Oh, we thought maybe it could be Bunting winning the other day, but I'm not so sure. I think he may be a little bit too far away for that, but Dobey certainly isn't.
Comebacks are really good in sport. They were talking about comebacks last night in Madrid. It didn't happen because Arsenal were just too good. Who's going to be too good here? Because it is going to be Gerwyn Price as he takes on Nathan Aspinall, a man who was never lost in this building.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the players. Would you please welcome a winner of a Euro Tour, a UK Open and US Darts Master, a Premier League finalist, and the winner of the World Match Play. Time to meet the Asp, Nathan Aspinall.
This place is going to be rocking tonight. And if there are fans out there at the Ahoy wanting to see another victory for Aspinall for a third straight Rotterdam nightly victory, this is where it starts. There have been question marks over Nathan Aspinall over the last few weeks, but boy did he answer some of them last week in Manchester for his first nightly win of this Premier League. He's not wearing orange tonight because in previous Premier League campaigns he's worn colours of the city. He's wearing his customary red and black tonight as he starts his orchestration. But somewhat muted Scott Mitchell. He didn't give it the full beans there, or will he? He's not going to.
Where's all these chats that he was having at the start of the Premier League season saying, you've got to have fun with the crowd, it's all about the crowd? I think he's toning it down a bit unpurposely. You were one that liked to do that, Nico, and take the crowd to your heart and everything else. Does it affect you as a player?
Well, some people are going to need an incredible amount of energy to get through a night where you might play 3 times in front of these people. He has orchestrated them, but he's done it in a muted sense because I think he knows that he might need every single inch of energy he's got in the locker against a Price who really has been quite simply brilliant this season.
Yeah, he has, and he's coming out in the orange. He's trying to get the crowd on side, and if you've ever been to anything like this in Holland, doesn't matter what it is, they come out in force with the orange. Not to be confused with the McLaren Papaya, of course.
Spoken like a true motorsport fan there, Scott.
No, just a guy that wears fuchsia pink, not pink.
I like how it's not just pink. This is definitely orange, trimmed with white, for the man who has won 2 Premier League nights so far. Got a win in Nottingham and one in Dublin. And he has played Nathan Aspinall in this year's Premier League and has beaten him twice. Once in Dublin en route to the victory, and once the week before in Glasgow in week number 2. And he does have a superior record against Nathan when they've played overall in the Premier League. But this is Nathan's best vessel when it comes to playing people of a Premier nature. He's got an exceptional Premier League record for someone who has not won the tournament. And when he comes into this arena tonight, Scott, he's won here twice over the last couple of years. He's never lost a match. What does that make him feel like going into this, injuries or no injuries?
What happens when you're a dart player? You have your favourite venues. It's why you keep seeing players, say, maybe win tour events in the same venues at the same place, because they have great memories of the place and it gives them a lift before they even thrown a dart. And that would be what I would say this place should be for Nath, because he, like you say, he just doesn't like losing in this venue. So he will come here knowing that he has many happy memories. He looks very relaxed here at the moment. And he's probably playing one of the most informed players in the Premier League at this current time, in the form of Gerwyn Price.
Yeah, he's been quite garrulous with the referee George Noble here. He's up against the oldest person in the Premier League in Gerwyn Price. Oldest person at 40. Game is very young these days, but what a week it's been for Nathan. What a month it's been for him. A Premier League win in Manchester last week. His first European Tour success in late March. Made another final after that in Risa. It's been an excellent season and it's only the end of April. But where is Rotterdam for Nathan here tonight? He starts, so he has the darts the same way that Chris Dobey did in the first match.
Yeah, I have to say it was looking terrible for Chris Dobey halfway down that second leg, but he turned it round. Nathan would not want to allow Price to get anywhere near that much joy in the first couple of legs.
There are some people who think that Nathan's career really did kick off with a match against Price at the World Championship, where Price was 2-0 up, and then Aspinall would win the next 3 sets with the aid of an Ali Pali crowd, and then from there he would make the semi-finals, and his career has never really looked back. However, Price on 3-4-7 after 6, Aspinall on 3-1-8, slightly better off. Dart flops down there after hitting the treble 20, so he has to switch over to the 18s to score 98, leaving him 220.
Yeah, Aspinall used to play actually in the Stockport Leads alongside people like Darryl Fitton and Tony O'Shea. So as a young man, having two of the greatest guys in darts around for teaching you the right way and the etiquette of the game, he had it all from a young age before he got to the PDC.
Yeah, this is the right thing to do from 220. Max it to lead tops, but Price with a 177 left the big fish, and we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for a big finish. Trying to add things to his collection in this Premier League is Price. Only 58, leaves 1-1-2. So Aspinall on double top to start this match very solidly. Good line, just slightly underneath, so has to recalibrate for double 10. He's wide of it to the right. Last dart incoming. Might take a little bit of time because he goes through this process of making sure everything's right. He misses double 10 twice to the right. Price is on tops after 4 18s on a 1-1-2 effort, and he steals the throw immediately with a characteristic row in Rotterdam.
And these guys know the break of throw means they've now just got to go on when they're throwing second and just hold on. That is a roar, isn't it? He left himself the 170. We have seen the 170 5 times this year in the Premier League. Little has had one in Glasgow. Dobey had one in Belfast. Price himself had one in Dublin. Bunting had one in Nottingham. And Cross had one in Cardiff. So the 170 has been a pretty well prolifically hit by these players.
We've had 10 completed weeks in the Premier League with those 5 170s. We've had 3 completed European Tour events, and there have been 12. rather silly statistic, but all of those events in Belgium, in Göttingen, Germany, in Riesa, Germany, they were all won by Premier League players. I wonder if that's going to continue this week as Easter weekend hosts its traditional event in Munich, and that is where Aspinall has made the final before 2 years ago when he lost to Michael Smith. Price in the 60 here from 380, looking to bring it down to 240. Falls one short. He's on 280 with Aspinall on 308, about half a dart behind.
And it is only half a dart.
It's an interesting play there from Nathan. 308 sometimes gets the 18s calling first, and he decided not to do that. He focused on 20s and got a ton.
Still had a chance to switch as well, because he hit the treble 20 with the first dart, and maybe it would have been a better idea to switch and then gone back, because he could have afforded to miss the treble and come back and hit the treble 20 and still left himself a shot.
He gets a 140 this time to leave 68. Price lurking on 181 will look to get to a 2-darter himself, and should. 420s hit, and then a beautiful treble 19 at the end to leave himself on 44. Aspinall might need this 68 to stop himself from going 2 legs to 0 down in the second quarter-final of Rotterdam. Treble 20 found, so he needs double 4 to get his first leg of the night.
Yeah, big moments in the game, and a super 68. That's probably as good a 68 as ever. He would have watched the Dobey game, and he would have seen that the game turned on that second leg, and he could have felt that happening, but he didn't. He didn't. He went straight in. Nice little double kill there. Treble 20, double 8. Looked really assertive and looked really confident, backing up what he's done in the last few weeks in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's always having to work hard. He's spoken candidly recently about his battles with dartitis. Everything is now a process, whereas previously it was just natural. But after making a final on Monday in Rosmalen, lost out to Damon Heta, who was unbelievable at times in that final. Aspinall decided to take Tuesday off, which I think most people, Scott, would agree was the right choice.
Yeah, especially just get that extra 24 hours off before you have to sort of gear yourself up. What you forget about this is there's a day of press and promotion the day before all of these Premier League things. So they're not actually getting Wednesday off ever, are they?
Oh, that is beautiful. Maximum from Aspinall leaves him on 41 after 9. Price on 271, not anymore. That 140 leaves him on 131, but Aspinall is favourite to take the lead here. A big exhalation from the man from Stockport, who doesn't live in Stockport anymore. It's closer to Glossop as he looks at double 16 for an 11-darter. Misses it high right. Just leans into the shot and resets for double 8, which he hits right in the middle. 2-1 to Asp. Still looking very confident coming into this one. And with both of these players in the middle of the table, Scott, this is a big game.
Yeah, it is. There's a bunch in the middle there that are battling it out. You know, Humphries and Littler, the two Lukes, have sort of jetted off at the top. Then there's a little clutch of 4 there that really are battling away in the middle. And I've got to say, I feel that MVG may be missing last week, and then getting a -6 on his leg count could be really crucial come the end of the Premier League.
I couldn't agree more. I think we might be looking back at that in a few weeks' time. Maybe when we get to Aberdeen in a few weeks, that will be the thing we'll talk about the most. Oh, look at that maximum from Aspinall, all in the left-hand side of the bed. He's averaging 112. Now, he's got a personal best in this Premier League of 106.5. Price himself just a little bit better than that, 107.25, but Aspinall's got the bit between his teeth here. 228, down for the 19s.
And the look of Price there as he walked back round the corner. He knows he's playing a good Aspinall here. He knows.
And sometimes you say to yourself, about 3 legs in, oh, this is the version I'm getting tonight, is it? I'm getting the good version. I'm not getting the tired, the lethargic, the injured version. Oh no, it's 170 for Aspinall. And he doesn't have to take it. He's got the first 60 and the second. He's going to please the crowd. He's going to go for the ball. And he's going to hit a 170 check out. It's absolutely stunning. It's not his first massive 170 of the season. He took it a crucial one against Gary Anderson in Göttingen en route to victory in the semi-final. And he enjoyed every single second of that. It's 3-1 Aspinall in a place where he could be bulletproof.
Well, we said 5 of the 8 have hit a 170. Now 6 of the 8 have hit a 170 in this Premier League.
And 4 of them have hit 9 darters. All 4 of them have been given a gift by the title sponsor worth about £30,000, golden darts. Can you imagine what you're going to have to do when you take those home? You'll have to get them insured, that's for sure. But 3-1 Aspinall, 3-3-1 he's got. Price getting frustrated. He's on 4-1-6 at the hockey now.
The only 1 darters I've ever hit are at home on the practice board, and the only thing I've ever been given is egg and chips from the wife.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I'd take egg and chips for a 9 darter.
No, we're free range.
Because they're your eggs.
Oh, yeah.
26 for Aspinall. And when Luke Littler did that last week, he got a cheer from the Manchester crowd. He's left 305. Better from Price, 2 treble 19s. Leaves himself on 182 after a 134 visit.
As for Price, you just feel it's a case of trying to stop the rot here, because Aspinall will steamroller him and do all the right things at all the right moments. 167 there left for him.
Yeah, great craft of a visit from Nathan.
Cannot afford a troubleless visit here, and he's gone for the ball with the last dart.
He's hit a 13 as well. The only good thing for Price is that he has left 130, which is very gettable. But he's 3-1 down with Aspinall now on a 167. Gets the 60. Doesn't get the 57. Greeted by oohs from the Rotterdam crowd. But another treble 20 leaves him on double 14. And Price has to take this 130 out, Scott.
He does indeed. And oohs are better than boos as well for Aspinall. And now it's bullseye for Price. Can he take the little fish? He doesn't.
Aspinall is getting everything to go his way. Since losing the first leg, he's bossed this game. Double 14 for a 4-1 lead. Just on the outside. It may be a little bit too close. It was a bit close. He splits it. Misses it by a centimetre to the right. And then misses double 7 too high. So Price will go for 1 for double 12 for this 25 checkout to get back within 1. And it's crucial because it's for a break of throw. And misses double top. High by a centimetre, then just low. So now Aspinall can get away with a leg and take that 4-1 lead with 7 points.
Oh, 4-1 is just such a different game with the 3-2 and Price having the momentum to get back into it. He'd had the throw as well and had a good chance to go 3-3, but all ifs and ands. It's all about Aspinall now.
On double 2, hits it immediately. 4-1 lead for Nathan. He started the night in 4th position on 15 points. Price was just ahead of him in 3rd on the same points total, but was ahead of him because of leg difference. How would you describe that maximum there, Scott? Because he threw the 3rd dart like he knew it was going to go in.
Freedom, lethargic, relaxed, I think all the above.
At the minute, he's not really aiming the darts. I'd like to be inside the mind of Gerwyn Price right now. I'd love to know what he's thinking at 4-1 down.
I think he's pretty angry inside there, I think.
Yeah, it could be a rather dark place. I'd like to see Gerwyn Price given free rein with a baseball bat in an anger room or one of those rage rooms. That would be a thing of beauty. Well, the scoreline is not a thing of beauty right now. Aspinall will, however, recognise with that 97 score, leaving 2-8-0, that this one is close to being over. 95 from Price down in the 19s, leaves 89. He should win this leg.
Yeah, he should, but a 180 here could put the cat right amongst the pigeons. Not going to happen, so he has got 6 from here as Price.
He's got 89. That small 19 leaves 70. Doesn't have to go for the 20 in ball, because Price has just flung that 2nd dart at the treble 10. And the 3rd dart, it's as if he could hit tops blindfolded. He just flung it. No aiming, no set position, no nothing. Just get in, move on, 4-2 down now.
It was that laid back that you must think he's got a stick behind him to get him stay stood up.
You come to a place like this, you don't want to be eliminated early. You want to revel in this incredible crowd in a wonderful darting country, but it feels as if Price is changing the rhythm of his play to try and find something to get back into this.
Yeah, it is. I would agree. So I agree with the fans here. I mean, I've been to the Dutch Open, and the biggest Open in the world it is, and the guys just absolutely love it. They love their darts out there in Holland. For such a small country, to have such big hearts for the game of darts, it's pretty special.
Sure is. Only 58 from Aspinall, leaves 2-4-6. Price back on 3-6-7. He's going to have to get moving. That treble 19 bed has been concentrated on an awful lot in this game. That's not necessarily a good thing. Here we are again with the 19s for Aspinall. He might go down there because of shoulder trouble from earlier in the week, and it is easier to go downstairs than upstairs sometimes with injury. This is good on 19s. It's all three of them. 1-7-1 from Price. Gets him to 1-3-8, 50 points ahead.
Yeah, indeed. So this is looking like Aspinall needs a double treble visit here to keep it nice and tidy. Oh, I couldn't. Timing of 180s is something that you have to get perfect.
It's not going to be a 1-3-8 checkout for Price. He's got 4 19s. Goes over to the 10s and gets 3 of those. Leaves him on double 16, but that may be what Aspinall leaves, which he does on this 48 checkout for 5-2 in this quarter-final. Misses wildly left. Last start in hand. Slots it. Really well done. Equal distance between the first dart in the single and the second dart outside from that double 16 bed, and Nathan just threads the needle for a 5-2 lead.
Well, if Gerwyn Price had any thoughts about it's not his night, if he watched that dart go through that gap, he'll go, you know what, it ain't my night.
3 180s for Aspinall, only the one for Price. It's not been one of his classic displays, that's for sure. Gezi averaging 95, Nathan 96, and if this is Gezi's C game, what does it tell you about where his A game is at? That's another 180 for Nathan. He's on 2-3-0, Price back on 3-0-2. He may be waving the orange flag here. Because let's face it, everything else is orange in Rotterdam.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I mean, when you look at the averages for the start of the night, for the tournament, Gezi's on 95 and Aspinall was on 95, so we knew this was going to be a fairly even game, but the moments, the turning points have all gone with Aspinall.
Yep, the things he's done for himself and the misses from Gerwyn Price. But he doesn't miss there. It's a 180 to leave 62, but this is match point to the Asp, who has 1-3-5 to stay undefeated in Rotterdam. It's been 6 games to this point. He's won all 6 and he's got the bull on the 1-3-5. He's got the 45 to stretch his streak to 7, misses tops by about 1.5 centimetres, and Price is still alive on 62. Single 14. Hurdles the 11 to the 8 and takes the tops again, doesn't aim. He just flings it in there. There's a bit of side-eye action there from Nathan.
Yeah, but Price is having none of it. No interaction. Doesn't look him in the eye. They still finds that quite amusing. There's a little smirk still on his face that Gezi wouldn't have a bar of it.
Yeah, good 140 start there, but don't talk about interacting with your closest rivals this week in sport. We all know what Rory did with Bryson DeChambeau. He didn't speak to him for 18 holes. And let's face it, most dart players don't speak to each other in the middle of the game anyway. It's nothing new.
I remember our dear friend Eric Bristow saying he saw that namby-pamby cuddling after games. He hated it, didn't he? He wanted a bit of needle, he wanted a bit of pushing and shoving. And
it's not a tickling contest, is it? Be funny if it was, but it isn't. It's a battle of sharp objects, sharp wits and sharp shooting. Oh, 2 small 19s and the gasp from the Aspinall corner of the Oki. It is one of, I wanted to leave something less than 2-4-3. Another waft of a dart into the 60 for Price. A befuddling display tonight from the Iceman from Markham in South Wales. But Nathan's got 2-4-3 and a 5-3 lead. This is a big chance to get himself into the semi-finals to play Chris Dobey. He'll be wanting that to be his last 140 in this game, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. So 6 from here from Aspinall. He's going to have 2 visits to get this 103 done. He won't want to do it in 2. He'll want to have it done in 1.
57, followed by a single 14 and a match start at double 16, which he just misses on the inside. He did push the wire to the left, and Price can do nothing from 189, apart from pressurise. 2 treble 19ers and a single. Gets him to 55, but it might be academic. Nathan, who has a 5-3 lead, now G's himself up to get his 6th leg. He misses his 2nd match start at AA, but he doesn't miss any more. It's now 7 straight games won at the Ahoy for Nathan Aspinall. He lost the first leg, and then he never looked back as soon as he took a 2-1 lead. There's a lot of discussion happening on the Ahoy stage right now between Asp and Gerwyn Price. But as of this game, Scott Mitchell, Nathan is about to overtake Price in the Premier League inside the top 4 spots. He's starting to make his move.
He really is, and like you said, it's a place he loves playing. He doesn't lose games here, and he's enjoyed that one.
Well, interestingly enough, the Ahoy crowd have got what they want. They've got the person who's never lost there into the semi-finals to take on Chris Dobey, but now we have to focus our attention on the person that most of these people have come to see. Michael van Gerwen has been asked a lot of questions over the last few weeks. He's the only person in this Premier League field who has not won a PDC title this season so far. But he won't care about that tonight. He wants to win his first Premier League night this season in his homeland, and we're about to find out next on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel whether he can do that by taking out Stephen Bunting in the quarterfinals. But before we get there, when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the dark web monitor you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free in a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Van Gerwen and his opponent in Rotterdam, that is Stephen Bunting, and that will be next.